Morning, folks. 2 seconds to get Facebook on, Bob. Bit slow coming through. Very slow coming through. We'll get these in a second. Right, that's us now. Okay, that's Facebook on board. Good morning, people. Welcome aboard to the Indie Truck Davy News Review on the 27th of the 9th, 2024. So it's Indie Truck Davy with the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's a beautiful morning, bright, crisp, clear, sunny, still chilly at 9 degrees. That's the weather forecast for Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look out your own bloody windy. Right, let's say hello to a few of yous. Morning, Aki, Stevie, Reagan awake. See the other Davies there this morning. A couple of Facebookers in. Morning, Doug. Morning, Mel. Hi, John. Hi, James. I see Ian Matheson's there. Lorna, good morning. Morning, Lorraine. Morning, Margaret. Morning, Indy Scott Bryan. And good morning, moderators. Mad Monk and Alistair. And whoever else is there. Anyway. Just get a wee second to let the numbers climb a wee bit more. Hi, Tina, how are you? How's the weather in Dundee this morning? Tina, leave me a wee comment. Okay, right then. We're nearly at the 100 mark. We'll get a wee second there, see if we can hit the 100 mark or smaller. Morning, Socks. How are you? Hi, Elizabeth. Wie geht's? Are you back in Germany? Are you still holidays? Let me know in the comments. I didn't read your comments, folks. It's just there's too many of them to actually go through them all. Good morning, John, the truck driving legend. And it's warm and sunny in Edinburgh, is it? 10 degrees. Lovely. Tell you need to get your camera out, boy. These people are missing something in the truck. Hey, I'll nip along and give you that high-vis vest, son. You'll make it a legend. Thanks for the kind donation. Okay, folks, let's get this broadcast underway. And we'll put up the first one for yous. And it's an interesting story. It's an incorrect story in part of Government Law Centre and 2 pensioners from Coatbridge. We'll stick it up and we'll go through it. Okay, folks. So the National this morning, main headline, bid to have cuts to fuel payment declared unlawful. Now, the National runs on 2 headlines. Let's start with the first headline, and that Mars says sorry after he gets it completely wrong with diatribe against offensive Gaelic signs. Now, this is about the fact that Scotland has got 2 or 3 languages, but we only officially recognise 2, Gaelic and Scots. And for those of you who think I'm speaking English, you're off your fucking chump. I'm speaking Scots. They're 2 separate languages, both internationally recognised. All right. Anyway, the National runs on the headline. First, the House jock Andrew Marr is sorry for diatribe over Gaelic language on road signs in Scotland. He, of course, took pelters, and the House jock apologised. Nothing worse than seeing a House jock trying to play up to his imperial masters. That's what the term House jock means. It means somebody in public life who tries to ingratiate himself to the oppressor. So Marv, the House jock, had a wee go at the fact that we recognise both languages of Gaelic and Scots here in Scotland, and he wasn't happy with the Gaelic being on the road signs. Get it round you, House jock. Stay in London. We've no place for you here. Edinburgh and Scotland are no longer your home, boy. Right, and the other story, as I say, 2 pensioners with Coatbridge, one Peter and Florence Fanning, in conjunction with the Government Law Centre, are taking the Scottish and UK government to court over the cutting of the winter fuel payment. Now, it's quite obvious that Peter and Florence, like a lot of Scots, don't understand how devolution works. Now, it's quite simple, folks. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland get their funding through something called the Barnett Formula. And it's based on money spent in England on services. we get a per capita share in the block grant. But now that the winter fuel cut has been made in England, there is no consequentials coming to Scotland. So the Scottish Government can only cover so much with our distinct income tax system. It only raises an extra 1.7 billion on top of the block grant, and the block grant's been fucking hammered by 11% since 2016. Wow. Anyway, did you just say their names? Was Fanning, Fanning, Peter and Florence. Anyway, to get right to it, the Scottish Government's name shouldn't be on the writ. And I dare say when it gets to the Court of Session, which is where they're taking it, the Court of Session will strike the Scottish Government's name after it. Because the Scottish Government, the Welsh Government, the Northern Irish Government have no choice in this. None. As I say, there's no consequences coming for the winter fuel payment. So the Scottish Government don't have the cash to hone it out. But as I say, it's not unusual for people not to understand how devolution works. Because if you don't study it, then you won't realise that there's only 4 competencies lying along there in Holyrood: health, education, environment, and infrastructure. They're big briefs, but that's it. Everything else is reserved. Okay. Right, so that's the National out the road. What have we got next? The right-wing Looney Rag the Express goes on, same story. They call the Coatbridge couple heroic. And the headline, Labour and SNP to carry, to take to court over winter fuel cuts. Now, the use of language here is interesting. Thanks very much, Andy Scott Brian. And it's sunny in Inverclyde, glad to hear it. Now, as I say, the use of language here is interesting. You would think they were cutting off the fuel supply to Scotland. Well, they fucking are, actually. They're allowing Radcliffe to shut Grangemouth, which means that Scotland's fuel needs in petrol and diesel and aviation fuel and heating fuel will now all have to come from England. Scotland's the country with all the fucking oil. England's a country with all the fucking refineries, 6 of them. Only 1 in Scotland, and these fucks are letting it go to the wall. But as I say, it was an interesting use of language, and as I say, this court case to me doesn't make any sense. Thanks, Alistair. This court case doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, especially the Scottish Government being on the ticket. Right, number 8. So, anyway, but what's interesting is the Express is the only paper, which is a distinct Scottish paper, to have a different headline north of the border and south of the border. So I'll stick them up and I'll let you see what the 2 different stories are, because apparently nobody in England's to know that the Westminster Government's being sued. So let's have a look at the Express, shall we? That's the Times. Here we go again. No, so not what it last. Right. This is the headline in the loony right-wing rag, The Express in England. It feels like they don't want him to come back to me. And this is a story about the lack of social care in England. No social care. So this guy's home help has been taken away and he's no getting them back. Now, in the Scottish rags, where are we? There we go. In the Scottish rags, we'll share it out. Here we go. The Scottish Daily Express has Labour and SNP taken to court over winter fuel cuts. Now, as you can see there, it mentions Westminster and Holyrood. Why isn't this a story in England is going to be the question. That is going to be the question, folks. Because it must be relevant, and the Westminster government must be aware of it. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? The other right-wing loony rag, the Daily, rang again. Right, the Daily Rancid, the Daily Record, goes on crime story. Apparently, a gangster named James Stevenson, aka the Iceman, was arrested in the Netherlands after a boozy night out with his mate was paid for by a credit card. This is a long-running story. It's been going since 2020. Now, this guy, the Iceman, was first convicted in 2014. He was released in 2020 and then set about importing millions of quid's worth of drugs via bananas. You'll have heard the story recently. Anyway, the shipment of bananas was discovered in Dover, and 5 people up here in Scotland were nicked. It's coming to court at the moment. And interestingly enough, one of them was the owner of the Glasgow Fruit Market. So, as I say, this is a crime story. Don't normally cover crime stories, but I need to cover what the record says, so there you go. Oh, right. Anyway, the Telegraph north and south of the border tells us that Bojo the Clown tried to convince Harry Windsor not to leave the UK. Who cares what the clown did? And who cares about a minor royal? As far as I'm fucking concerned, it's one less on the civil list. Simple as that. Right, the field tells us that they're going to be running an exclusive on Bojo the Clown's memoirs of his time in office. The headline reads, exclusive in tomorrow's Mail, a unreleased political memoir of the century, the bombshell begins. And Boris, this is the actual headline. I wonder if I'll go to there. See if I put it up. I didn't. No, I didn't put it up. Anyway, apparently Boris had a manly pep talk with Harry to try and convince him not to leave. And it was the headline was manly talk with Harry to try and prevent Brexit. In other words, to try and stop him and Meghan Markle from leaving the UK. There's a couple of things wrong with that. Johnson's manly pep talk. Sorry, Bojo. Real men like me, the people watching here, in fact, real people, we take responsibility for our actions. You, Bojo the Clown, you spent £250,000 of our money trying to avoid the consequences of your actions. Bojo's as much a man as my fucking cat out the back there. And I mean that. Bojo's no man. He's a snivelling, lying piece of scum. And he should fuck off back to the USA from whence he came. Oh no, he can't. His dad's a tax dodger, so they had to run away from the USA. Yeah, well. So apparently, if anybody's interested, Boris Johnson's memoirs will be serialised in the Daily Mail. And apparently there's a book coming out. That book will be in the bargain fucking book bucket at 50 pence a pop in about 2 months' time. The publisher's going to take a fucking hit and a half, eh? Right, the Telegraph is the same story, who cares? And the sub-headline in the Telegraph is that Reeves softened plans to crack down on non-doms. Anybody surprised? Thanks, Socks. Appreciated. The citizens here in Scotland are indebted to you. As you know, money all goes to food banks, folks. And I am arranging it to go to Western Bartonshire as we speak, but because the banks are not open again Tuesday, I will make the transaction on Tuesday. Okay. Now, is anybody surprised that Labour's backtracking and want to whack the non-doms? Because apparently, whacking the non-doms is not going to bring in any money. It was originally going to bring in 3 billion. But guess what? Money's been fleeing in London. Like shite running down the rivers in England. It's fleeing fast across the seas. There's no fucking non-doms left. The only that's left is a bunch of empty hussies that are paid for. And only a council tax to be paid them. Right, the Financial Times tells us Reeve is to tone down tax rates on rich non-doms. And the Saudis apparently have ditched their strategy of trying to force the price of oil up to $100 a barrel. They've changed their mind. They're going to flood the market. They're going to absolutely flood the market with cheap fuel in the hope of winning market share. Bit of bad news there for Westminster, eh? Westminster's grubbing about in the dark trying to find money down the back of the fucking sofa. Well, the Saudis are just about to cut off one of your biggest revenues, and that's the revenue for Scotland's fucking oil. Because when they flood the market, the price of a barrel will bottom out. And Westminster will take fuck on a tax take. There's always a sunshine moment in my day. But it won't mean that things will get worse. But they're going to get worse anyway. Just throw in cheap fuel for the motorist. Aye. But scud for the Treasury. Aye. That will do for me. Oh, aye, she'll get the after show chat next week. Right, let's move on. The eye tells us that Reeves is going to loosen off fiscal rules, which may send inflation soaring. The budget rules change risks higher interest rates for long-term loans, for longer loans, Reeves. Now, yeah, I think what they're talking about is the fiscal rules being dodged on capital spend. Scotland and England need housing. England desperately needs to start building houses. Desperately. And that brings us to the idiot poverty pie Sarwar, the branch office manager of the Labour Party here in Scotland yesterday, having a go at the First Minister for our lack of housing. Let me explain this to people who don't know this. Prior to the SNP winning the 2007 election in Holyrood, the devolved parliament here, at that time it was called the Scottish Executive. But anyway, prior to that, the Labour Party had been in office for the first 4 years, and then they were in office in a coalition with the Lib Dems for the second 4 years of the life of the Scottish Parliament. Back then, the parliamentary terms were only 4 years. And they built one house. One! And at the end of that second term, in order to stop the SNP having any money when they won the election, former First Minister Lord McConnell, another fucking house jock, Lord McConnell gave Westminster back 1.5 billion for the Scottish budget and the block grant. And here we've got this cheeky bastard, poverty pie Sarwar, has the cheek to start up the Scottish Parliament and complain about housing. In 2003 to 2007, you can have built a shitload of houses. Shitload of houses for 1.7 billion quid. Wow. Sorry, 1.5 billion quid. Wow. You must be audacity to me, bastard. This is a scumbag that lied to the Scottish people, name air austerity. Waspy woman's settlement. End of the two-child cap. Vote Labour. Fucking lying scumbag. Won't even pay his own employees a decent wage. I'll try and tone it down a wee bit. But when we get these scumbags talking like this, they handed back 1.5 billion. Only built one fucking house in 8 years. If they'd have spent the money building houses back then, we maybe not be in such a housing crisis. After all, the Scottish government, SNP government since it came to power, have built 105,000 fucking social houses. 105,000. But in the first 8 years, Labour and the Lib Dems managed to build fucking one. One! And they handed back money. Do you know what Jack McConnell told the Scottish people when he gave that 1.5 billion back? He couldn't find nothing to spend it on. Nothing to spend it on. Well, fucking housing crisis. At that time, the school estate was in shite state, the hospital estate was in shite state. Funny how the SNP managed to find the stuff to fucking spend it on. House jobs, wow. I've got a viewer warning here for one of the moderators. Apparently, people might not be aware that I can get a little ranty. And I do curse sometimes. I do apologise. But what's interesting, folks, is see when I'm not in front of the bloody camera, I don't swear. People in the comments will know that. This is my normal life, I don't swear at all. Right, where are we? The eye tells us. Oh no, we just did the eye, listen to the fiscal rules. The time says we've set to Apple per hour. Then we've got times there, haven't we? Aye, the times, here we go, per hour. That's us. So reset to profit by tweaking debt rules. I have absolutely no idea what that means. But as I say, I think it refers to the fact that she's going to take capital spending out with the fiscal rules to allow them to spend a wee bit more to build houses. I say that's a good thing because it means there'll be balanced consequentials. We'll be able to build some houses and use the rest of it for something else. Right. And the Metro has terror hacker targets railway stations across the UK. Headline: a hijack on rush hour trains. And this is a story yesterday that a hacker got into the notice boards around the UK, 19 big stations, including Glasgow and Edinburgh, and put out terror warnings. Absolutely brilliant. Alistair, you're absolutely correct. They built 105 and upgraded the rest of the houses, including insulating them. But a lot of that money came from Europe. So the Metro goes in the story that a hacker got into the network rails, destination signs at railway stations, and put up terror warnings. And rush hour, queering the stations. Couldn't make it up, man. Couldn't make it up. Right, the Guardian has Netanyahu says Lebanon strikes will go on despite ceasefire calls. It also has Sir Kiddy Starver, Granny Freezer saying route over using Piers Flat is farcical. Well, it'd be different if it was Davies' mate and Davy was using his mate's flat. But this guy's no Starmer's mate. This guy's Starmer's sugar daddy. This Wahid Ali. Baron Wahid Ali. But as I said yesterday, what is it this guy wants? Multi-millionaires don't plough money into politicians without wanting power and influence. That's for sure. The big question is, what is it Ali wants? And whoever's behind him wants. I can tell you what they don't want. They don't want Labour being a Labour Party. That's why Corbyn had to go. Because he was a proper socialist. It's just Labour in name now. It means nothing. Absolutely nothing. And as we've seen, even in power, you couldn't put a fag paper between the two cheeks of the same arse, the red and blue Tories. Okay, the Herald runs with subsea cable firm and 87 million windfall. I'm not surprised. It's just the go ahead to run cables from the north of Scotland into England so the English can steal your fucking electricity and sell it on the open market. Profits going to Westminster. Granny freezes in her fucking hovel here in Scotland. Oofed. But I'm going to put the Herald up because there's another headline that I like. Where are we? Here we go. Right, let's stick this up. Right, as I say, jobs hope as subsea cable firm and 87 million windfall. Plant could be world leading. But I like the man in the middle, the picture of Dross, Douglas Ross. Now, as you might know, folks, we get the result of the branch office of the Tory party's leadership here in leadership race here in Scotland today. And today, we will find out whether Murdo the Fud, Murdo Fraser, will win his first ever election. Because in all the years, the 20 odd years he's been in that parliament, he's never won an election. He's always got in the list. So will Murdo the Fud be the new Tory leader? Don't know, but what it does say here is Dross, he was getting pillared by his own colleagues on the way out the door. And nae cakes, nae fist bumps, and nae, well done, pal. It was a case of fuck off and don't come back. Like that. And no doubt, Ross will find himself out of office in the 2026 election. The Herald, as I say, that's what the Herald runs on. Okay, now the Star, as we come right up on the half an hour mark, bang on time, the Star gives us a smile again today. It always does. I love this Star. Absolutely love it. So we'll put the Star up to finish, shall we? And this one's cracking. This one's a cracker. Sometimes I think they make a shit up. Oh, where'd that go? It's there. 27 food teaching aid for kids gives them the heebie-jeebies. Hold on, we'll scroll this down for you. Attack of the creepy giant baby doll. It is pretty fucking creepy, actually. Never thought that was a good idea for kids. It's mental. That's pretty freaky to me at all. A massive doll built as a teaching aid for kids is creeping out of town because, frankly, it looks like something out of a horror movie. And I have to agree with the Star this time. It does look like something out of a horror movie. Oof. Yeah, give you the heebie-jeebies right enough. Anyway, that's what the papers have got for you today, folks. I had to look at the local rides like the D&J and the Courier and things like that. Never found anything interesting. Oh no, what's this? Duncan, man, you got mental. These people all went mental. Good morning, David. Your hospital appointment went on Wednesday. You stayed west of Berkshire, so here's a bonus for the food banks. And never stop your rant. I'll try my best, naughty Duncan, but wait, be a bit of good news for you. West of Berkshire, where you are, that's who's getting the money this month. But wow, Duncan, thank you very much. You know, people are the most generous people on the planet. You really are. And I'm really proud to call you my friends. And it's an honour to be able to come on here and have you guys help the citizens of Scotland who are suffering terribly because of Westminster's created austerity. You remember, folks, austerity was a political choice. We didn't have to have it. We've never had to have austerity. Everybody knows that if you invest in public services, your economy will grow. Why is that? Because public services also need to make procurement. And that procurement creates employment. And everybody gets taxed, and the Treasury does well. So the fact that these people don't realise that you've got to you've got to spend to accumulate. That's the old term, speculate to accumulate. Remember that. I have said this over and over again. Both governments, whether it be Labour or Tory, since Thatcher's day, have been totally fiscally fucking incompetent. Oh, by the way, one of the sub-headlines today was that Rachel Reeves could raise 50 million by offsetting assets. Right? This was in The Guardian. Now, if you don't know what offsetting assets means, because that's newspaper speak, what offsetting assets means is she's going to fucking sell off the last of the family silver. Bye-bye, NHS. Bye-bye. Offsetting assets. Fucking selling off of public services is what that means. Oof! Wow. Well, sometimes you just go to translate political speech. Well, a bit like there'll be real term rises in departments' budgets. That means their budgets will stay the same because they'll just be adjusted for inflation. You don't understand the lingo, you won't get what they're saying. You just won't. So, real term rises, inflation. Budget adjusted for inflation. offset assets, fucking sell off our property. Assets that were built by us, paid for by us, and now being sold off to plug a black hole that doesn't exist and to carry on a fiscal strategy which is fucking killing the UK economy. When we talk about fiscally fucking stunted and economically illiterate, I give you the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers for the last 50 years, whether that be the red or blue fucking Tories. Wow. And thank you very much, DJ Marcy Moo. You guys have been so... Russell Fenley's the new leader. Yes! That's 20 quid to the food bank, folks. I just won my bet. Chalk that up to Murdo the Fun, losing another fucking election. Ah, lovely. You just made my day, DJ Marcy Moo. So, folks, there'll be another 20 quid hitting the Two Davies account and get out to the food banks. Because I've just won 20 quid on a bet that Murdo the Fun when they become the new branch office manager. Because as I said at the time when this competition coming up to become the new branch office manager of the Tories, that Murdo the Fun has never won an election. Well, that fucking losing streak continues. I'm off to give Murdo the Fun fucking pelters. You guys tune in on Monday and we'll do it all again. Twice! 10:30 in the morning for the Indie Talk Davy paper review, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon for the Two Davies show. Okay. Murdo's a witzer, Larry. He's a fun. It's a Scottish word, the colloquial. And it refers to some anatomical parts, but that's as far as I'm going to go, Sir Larry. I think in England you'd probably call him a fanny. But here we call him a fud. As I say, that's it for the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed the rants. By the way, I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it informative. And I hope Peter and Florence Fanning of Coatbridge and the Glasgow Law Centre, the Govan Law Centre, have paid attention to this. Okay. We'll see you all on Monday. I'm going to have a fucking brawl weekend now. Murdo the Fun, serial loser. I'm off to batter him with emails laughing at the bugger. Have a nice day. Oh, Christ, I feel great. I feel invigorated. You guys are wonderful. And you're right, a fanny is useful. Murdo the Fun, isn't he? Catch you later, folks. We'll see you all on Monday twice to do it all again.